The time 6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Tilani Piris. The headlines. The National Bidding Research Organisation NBRO advises there is a risk of landslides in 4 districts due to the prevailing heavy rains. The Election Commission says used cardboard ballot boxes will be reused for the local government election. The air quality in Colombo and several other areas reach unhealthy levels again. The Minister of Transport says the special public transport services are functioning well today. And on international news, the UN condemns the Taliban ban on women from working for the NGOs. And on sports news, the Football Federation of Sri Lanka received a red notice from the global body FIFA. The National Building Research Organisation advises that there is a risk of landslides in 4 districts due to the prevailing heavy rains. It said landslide warnings have been issued to several areas in the districts of Kandy, Kurunegala, Matale and Nuwara until 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. The NBRO requests the public in landslide-prone areas to be vigilant on possible landslides. The NBRO said people also should be on the alert on lope failures, rock falls, cut slope failure and ground sinking. The NBRO requests the public to take immediate measures to evacuate to a safe location if such a catastrophe is noticed. Meanwhile, 6 sluice gates of the Danduroya and 8 sluice gates of Polgola Reservoir have been opened following the heavy rains. The Met Department has issued a red notice after the depression over the southwest Bay of Bengal entered through the east coast of Sri Lanka earlier today. The Met Department said the depression is moving across the country at present. The Met Department said showers or thunder showers will occur at times over most parts of the country today. It added very heavy showers above 150 millimeters can be expected at some places in the eastern, Uva, central, Sabaragamuwa, western, southern, northwestern provinces and in the Polonnaruwa district. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places elsewhere. The Met Department said strong gusty winds of about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the country. The chairman of the Elections Commission, Nimalji Punchiheva, says that attention has been paid to use cardboard ballot boxes used in previous elections. He said the existing ballot boxes will be reused and the unusable cardboard ballot boxes will be removed and replaced with new ones. The Elections Commission has held several rounds of discussions regarding the conduct of the election. Meanwhile, Election Commissioner General Saman Sri Ratnayaka has said that the proposed local government elections would cost around 10 billion rupees. He said that he has discussed with the Elections Commission about the manner of conducting the election and has applied to get the relevant financial allocations. The local government elections are scheduled to be held for 341 local government bodies, out of which 24 bodies are municipal councils, 41 are urban councils and 276 are Pradeshia Sabhas. Even though 8,356 members are to be appointed for the 341 local government bodies, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has stated that it is appropriate to appoint only around 4,486 members to the local government bodies. The chairman of the Elections Commission of Sri Lanka said the date for the local government election will be announced before the 5th of January. The National Building Research Organisation NBRO says the air quality in Colombo and several other areas reached unhealthy levels again. It added the situation would continue with a slight increase in air pollution in the next few days. The NBRO said the air quality could drop to an unsafe level due to an increase in dust particles in the atmosphere. This would result in foggy or misty conditions in the coming days. It added that one of the main causes of Sri Lanka's air pollution was an influx of dust particles carried by strong winds from India. The NBRO also advised that the situation may change from time to time depending on the weather fluctuations, but in the next few days there could be a slight increase in the air pollution. The NBRO instructs children and older individuals who are more vulnerable should receive special protection. Those who are suffering from respiratory, lung or heart ailments should also take special attention in this regard, the NBRO added. Meanwhile, an 18-year-old girl and a 16-year-old boy were killed after a stone along with earth mound collapsed onto a house due to bad weather and rain at Dunuwila in Alawatugoda this morning. The police said 3 children and their father and mother were buried under the mound of earth, were rescued and admitted to the Jambugaswiti Hospital. The boy and the girl who were among the injured died on admission. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Minister of Transport says that the special public transport services for Christmas and the New Year festive period are functioning now. The ministry says that the Sri Lanka Transport Board buses have been deployed from the main bus stations including Petta according to the needs of the passengers. More than 40 additional buses have been deployed from the main bus stations of Petta and Makumbura for the convenience of passengers going from Colombo to outlying provinces. The Kandy railway station has been inundated due to heavy rains experienced in the area this morning. The railway control room said accordingly train services along the main line have been disrupted. However, debris fallen over the upcountry railway track has been removed, the railway control room said. Meanwhile, the Department of Meteorology issued a red notice after the depression over the southwest Bay of Bengal entered through the east coast of Sri Lanka earlier today. The Met Department said the depression is moving across the country at present. The department said showers or thunder showers will occur at times over most parts of the country today. That ends local news to now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The National Building Research Organization advises that there is a risk of landslides in 4 districts due to the prevailing heavy rains. It said landslide warnings have been issued to several areas in the districts of Kandy, Kurunegala, Matale and Nuwara until 8:30 am tomorrow. The NBRO requests the public in landslide-prone areas to be vigilant on possible landslides. The NBRO said people should be on alert on lobe failures, rockfalls, cut slope failure and ground sinking. The NBRO requests the public to take immediate measures to evacuate to a safe location if such a catastrophe is noticed. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
Let's celebrate Christmas and New Year with CIB with special gifts, discounts and easy payment schemes available till 31st of December. Come to CIB today.
World News headlines first. The UN condemns the Taliban ban on women from working for the NGOs. A winter pressure brought heavy snow to mountainous areas in Japan. China says that it will stop releasing daily figures on coronavirus cases and deaths starting Sunday. The Taliban banning women from working for the NGOs has been condemned by the United Nations. The UN says the move violates fundamental rights. The Islamist rulers justified the move by saying female NGO staff had broken dress codes by not wearing hijabs. The decree comes just days after female students were banned from universities. The US Secretary of State also criticized the move, saying it would be devastating for the Afghan people. Female Afghan NGO workers acting as the main earners in their households said they fear and helpless. Saturday's order came in a letter from the Minister of Economy to both national and international NGOs. It threatened to cancel the license of any organization that did not swiftly comply. A winter pressure pattern around Japan has brought heavy snow to mountainous areas in the northern and eastern parts of the country. Caution is advised against traffic disruption as well as icy roads. Weather officials say heavy snow fell from Thursday through Saturday, mainly in mountainous regions of Hokkaido to Kyushu. Some flatland areas such as cities of Nagoya and Kochi have also seen snow accumulation. People are urged to wear safety belts when going onto rooftops and not to work alone. The government says that as of Sunday morning, 14 people have died and dozens of others were injured from the snow since December 17th. The Chinese government says that it will stop releasing daily figures on coronavirus cases and deaths starting Sunday. It says relevant COVID information will be published for reference and research. China stopped releasing the number of asymptomatic COVID cases on December 14th. It cited difficulty in getting precise numbers as many people without symptoms are not taking PCR tests. A surge in coronavirus cases is severely straining hospitals in Beijing and other major Chinese cities. The virus has been spreading rapidly across the country since the government eased antivirus measures on December 7th. Health authorities in Kwando and Shandong province estimated that 490,000 to 530,000 people per day have contracted the virus. Many Japanese companies are operating in the city. Back to the world news headlines. The UN condemns the Taliban ban on women from working for the NGOs. A winter pressure brought heavy snow to mountainous areas in Japan. China says that it will stop releasing daily figures on coronavirus cases and deaths starting Sunday. That ends World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
Amidst all challenges, we will rally around you and advance.
In the face of hardships, let's stand strong together.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News.
The Sri Lanka Export Development Board, EDB, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Swiss Import Promotion Programme to conduct market research studies. Ambassador for Switzerland in Sri Lanka, Dominic Fergler, and Mr. Suresh Demel, Chairman EDB, signed the MOU. The Swiss Import Promotion Programme is to facilitate the EDB to carry out comprehensive market research studies for selected Sri Lankan export product sectors such as processed food, seafood and value-added textiles, aiming to better integrate Sri Lanka into world trade. That was development news. Moving on with sports news, the Football Federation of Sri Lanka has received a red notice from the global body FIFA and the regional body, the Asian Football Confederation AFC. The notice said under the new regulations, no one over the age of 70 is eligible to contest elections. Also ruled out are those who have completed 4 two-year terms in office and those who have been found guilty of corruption. Continuing with more sports news, the Welsh athlete Melissa Courtney-Bryan has set a new women's park run world record of 15 minutes and 31 seconds. The 29-year-old ran the time over a 5-kilometer distance at the Poole Park Run in Dorset on Saturday. The Shaftesbury Barnet Harriers runner beat the previous mark of 15.37 set by Samantha Harrison earlier this month. Courtney-Bryan won a bronze medal over 1,500 meters at the 2018 Commonwealth Games, was third in the 2019 European Indoors 3,000-meter race. 9 of the first 15 runners to finish the Poole Park Run recorded personal bests. That ends sports news.
The fastest way to earn the highest interest, an interest rate of 22% in 4 months. NSB, the safest place for your money.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Standard & Poor's has downgraded Pakistan to CCC+ as the country continued to lose reserves and the currency fell to new historic lows under a flexible exchange rate, said in a statement. It added that the given high gross external financing needs and limited foreign exchange reserves. Meanwhile, Pakistan operates a flexible exchange rate and fixes short-term rates with liquidity injections in a bid to target an inflation rate. That was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The fastest way to earn the highest interest, an interest rate of 22% in 4 months. NSB, the safest place for your money.
Economic news, courtesy of...
For the 5th consecutive year, LOLC is awarded People's Financial Services Brand of the Year at the 2022 Slim Kantar People's Awards. As the People's Financial Services Brand of the Year, LOLC continues to place the customer first. And this has won the hearts, minds and trust of Sri Lankans, with yet another prestigious award as proof of this lasting commitment. LOLC, imagine the possibilities.
The Finance Ministry's statistics indicate that gold pawning loans have been increasing rapidly in recent times. The ministry says the tendency is due to the low and middle-income households continue to be hit by the cost of living in the present economic crisis. The data shows gold jewellery worth 193 billion rupees was pawned at banks in the first 10 months, mostly by middle-income earners. It was mainly for children's educational needs and the farmers' agricultural purposes, the Finance Ministry said. Some of the private banks, except state banks, have already sent final notices to customers demanding them to settle their loans. They have been issued the last warning of auctioning gold items to recover bank dues. That was Economic News.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
Weather report.
The Met Department says depression over southwest Bay of Bengal has entered through the east coast of Sri Lanka and it is moving across the country. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times over most parts of the country, it said. Very heavy showers above 150 millimeters can be expected at some places in the eastern, Uva, central, Sabaragamuwa, western, southern and northwestern provinces and in the Polonnaruwa district. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places elsewhere. Strong gusty winds of about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the country. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. Naval and fishing communities are advised not to venture into the deep sea and shallow sea areas around the island and the southwest Bay of Bengal until further notice. That was the weather report. And now to end this news broadcast, the main points once again. The National Building Research Organization, the NBRO, advises there is a risk of landslides in 4 districts due to the prevailing heavy rains. The Election Commission says used cardboard ballot boxes will be reused for the local government election. The air quality in Colombo and several other areas reached unhealthy levels again. The Ministry of Transport says the special public transport services are functioning well today. And on international news, the UN condemns the Taliban ban on women from working for the NGOs. And on sports news, the Football Federation of Sri Lanka received a red notice from the global body FIFA. That ends this news broadcast.